Welcome back. All right, so I'm going to review the 6 games that take place early today, and then later tonight I will review the final 2 as its own video. So that being said, if you've clicked on this, well, there you go. You're going to see the first 6 games get reviewed. Starting off with Montreal in Florida. Montembeault versus Bobrovsky, and I want to defend Montreal a bit. They lost 5 in a row coming into this, but look at the opposition they had to go through as well. So they have another game against Florida coming up, but it's been a tough schedule, and then it gets a bit easier after that. Now Caulfield has a slot shot that's held. Newhook's denied on a fast break. Then there's a post for Reinhardt on a turnover. We get a power play for Florida. That leads to 45 seconds of 4-on-4. Everything's killed off there. Teams trade rush chances. The Habs press at the half. There's a near miss by Suzuki. Montreal goes back to the power play. And at 12:03, Laine, with a one-timer from a sharp angle, scores from Hudson and Suzuki. Power play marker makes it 1-0. The Habs press for another, but at 13:16, Reinhardt with a backhand from the doorstep scores from Barkov and Verhaeghe to tie the game at 1. The Habs press with 5 minutes left. The Panthers get some pressure with 2.5 minutes left. With 1:29 left, the Panthers get a power play. So it's 1-1 after the first. Power play rolls over into the second. The Habs finish the kill to start the second. Near miss for Suzuki and close. We get 2 minutes of 4-on-4. Dvorak has a net drive that's blocked. The Panthers press at 6 minutes. Samoskevich shoots one wide on a rush. The shots are 3-1 Florida at 9 minutes, but we get a power play from Montreal and they score on it. At 11:27, it's Slavkovsky on the power play from Suzuki and Hudson. Banks this one in off Seth Jones' skate. It's a 2-1 lead for Montreal. Panthers press to respond. Eventually they do. At 16:23, Seth Jones with a one-timer pass to screen to tie the game at 2. Barkov and Rodriguez with the assists, and it's 2-2 after the second period. Third period, there's an early press by the Panthers. Caulfield looks to bank one in off Bobrovsky's mask. And then at 2 minutes, Suzuki with a one-timer in close during a press by Montreal makes it a 3-2 lead for Montreal. Hudson and Slavkovsky with the assists. Hudson had himself quite the day, 3 helpers. And we may have the Calder discussion again soon. The Panthers press at 3.5 minutes. Shots are 3-2 Florida at 6 minutes. Panthers press at 7.5 minutes. But for all that pressure, the Habs are really limiting the amount of chances to get to the net. Goalie pull happens with 2.5 minutes left, and at 18:16, Gallagher hits the empty net. The final score in this one's 4-2 Montreal. They go to 34-30-9. They jump back into a playoff spot. Florida 44-26-3. And as I said, if they can navigate this game and then the next one against Florida as well, from there on, the rest of their schedule is not too bad. Shots on net, 10-9 Montreal in the first, 10-4 Florida in the second, 8-7 Montreal in the third. Final shots 26-22 for the Panthers. Power plays, Montreal 2 for 4, Florida 0 for 2. The hits 32-19 Florida. Montembeault 24 saves on 26 shots. Bobrovsky 18 saves on 21 shots. Next up, Buffalo in Washington against the Caps. Reimer versus Thompson. Is there something wrong with Logan Thompson? Is the question I've been asking myself for the last week and a half. Sabres press early. They're kept to the outside. Shots are 2-0 Buffalo at 3 minutes. Caps press at 4 minutes. Wilson's denied on a rush. We get a power play for Buffalo. That's killed off. No shots on net. And then at 10:06, Washington opens the scoring as Chychrun buries his own rebound and close. Ovechkin and Strome with the assists. Everything gets punchy with 8 minutes and 50 seconds left. The Sabres come out of that with a power play, and they score on it. At 12:49, Thompson scores from Tuck and Peterka. Caps press to respond. We get a power play for Washington. That's killed off. The Sabres press with a minute and a half left. It's 1-1 after the first. Second period, 2 minutes and 14 seconds in. McLeod puts one through Thompson on a fast break. Quinn and Power with the assists. However, 22 seconds later, Chychrun scores to make it a 2-2 tie and to get his 20th goal of the season. That's at 2:36. So, yeah, this game's crazy. Shots are 4-1 Capitals at 4.5 minutes, and then at 5:17 on their second shot, Buffalo gets their second goal of the period. Tuck deflects a point shot into the net. Clifton and Zucker with the assists, so we have a 3-2 lead for Buffalo. Caps look to respond. Quinn has a slot shot that's kicked aside. The Caps press at 7.5 minutes. Tage Thompson denied on a rush, and then at 11:50, Lafferty with a backhand from the slot. The assist to Clifton, I thought that was one that Thompson earlier in the season would have saved. But either way, it's now 4-2 in favor of Buffalo. We get a power play for the Sabres. That's killed off. The Caps press with 3.5 minutes left with 1:09 left. The Sabres get a power play, and it's a 4-minute power play. So that rolls over into the third period with Buffalo ahead 4-2. But 37 seconds in, Protas gets his 30th of the season shorthanded from Wilson and Fir Avenue. And I mean his 30th of the season, not his 30th shorthanded goal of the year. That'd be ridiculous. However, after the shorthanded goal, Buffalo would score on that power play at 1:28. Thompson from Zucker and Peterka. Thompson fires that one from the left circle and has his second power play goal of the game. Caps look to respond, but at 5:52 on a breakaway, Jack Quinn roofs one. He continues to heat up, and so the Buffalo Sabres have themselves quite the lead, throwing off everything for me. However, at 9 minutes and 11 seconds, Ovechkin scores. He's 5 away from setting the goal-scoring record. The assists to Sandin and Van Riemsdyk. We then get a power play for Washington, and at 14:03, Dubois scores from Ovechkin and Strome. So Ovechkin had himself a couple of points today. And then at 15:34, Alex Tuch answers. He scores from Samuelsson. The goalie pull happens with 1:18 left. The Caps call a timeout. They're down 7-5. And then at 19:36, it becomes 8-5. Krebs scores from Quinn. The final score in this one is 8-5. The 80s magnet is on the board for good reason. That is your final score. The The Buffalo Sabres 31-36-6 with the win. Washington 47-17-9 with the loss. Washington just doesn't seem to quite have it. I've talked about this, how I understand you can have problems with focus when you have such a huge lead atop your division in the conference, but still. Shots on net, 10-7 Washington in the first, 8-6 Buffalo in the second, 13-8 Washington in the third. Final shots 29-23 for the Caps. Power plays 2 for 5 for Buffalo, 1 for 2 for Washington. The hits 21-16 Washington. Reimer saves 24 out of 29. Logan Thompson, 15 saves on 22 shots. That's going to knock that save percentage down a lot. All right, next up, Vancouver and Winnipeg, Demko versus Hellebuck. Early jump for the Jets. In fact, the Jets get some pressure a minute and a half in. Canucks press at 3 minutes. We get a power play for Winnipeg. A minute and 7 seconds of 5-on-3 followed. Now, that has killed off 4 total shots for the Winnipeg Jets during the power plays, including that 5-on-3. Shots are 6-2 Jets at 8.5 minutes. The Canucks press with 8.5 minutes left. There's a crossbar for Suter. The teams trade turnovers. Jets press with 5 minutes left. There's a power play for Vancouver that's killed off. The Canucks then score. It's challenged for offside. 90% of the time these challenges work. This is one of the 10% that don't. At 18:55, Suter's goal counts. Myers and DeBrusk with the assist. So the Canucks go to the resulting power play, which rounds out the rest of the period. Vancouver up 1-0. Second period. Jets finish the kill. Sherwood fires one wide on a rush. The Canucks press at 3 minutes. Morrissey fires one high as the Jets press. Myers has a one-timer that's blocker to side. Shots are 3-2 Vancouver at 6.5 minutes. Lowry's denied. Demko holds. And then at 9:26, Kyle Connor ties the game for Winnipeg. The assist to Scheifele and Miller. The Jets then look for the lead. Besser to DeBrusk gets poke-checked at the net by Hellebuck. Really alert play there. Otherwise, maybe DeBrusk gets that one into the net. Connor has a one-timer that's kicked aside. The Jets press with 5.5 minutes left. With 3.5 minutes left, the shots are 7 apiece, so close game. 2:52 left. The Canucks get a power play. It had chances, but it's killed off. It's 1-1 after 2. Third period. Scheifele has a tip shot that's held. They did review to see if that crossed the line, and the answer was no. So it did not go in. They also, I believe it was Scheifele was complaining that one of the Canucks had put his hand on the puck in the crease, and that is not allowed. But that was not called either. Canucks press at 4.5 minutes, but the shots are 3-0 Jets at 6 minutes. And at 6:24, Appleton scores from Lowry and Ehlers to give the Jets the 2-1 lead. Canucks press to respond. We get a power play for the Jets. That's killed off, but at 12 minutes and 11 seconds, Cole Perfetti buries one on a net drive to make it 3-1. The assists to Nemesnikov and Connor, so 3-1 lead for Winnipeg. Jets press with 6.5 minutes left. The goalie pull happens with 4:40 left. Canucks call a timeout with 2:43 left, and then the Jets get a power play with 1:20 left to essentially end the game. They win 3-1 to the Jets. 51-19-4 win. They now have the inside track on the President's Trophy. Jets fans, let me know how you feel about that. Vancouver 34-27-13 with the loss, and once again their faint playoff hopes take another hit. Shots on net, 9-6 Winnipeg in the first, 11-7 Vancouver in the second, 11-7 Winnipeg in the third. Final shots 27-24 for the Jets. Power plays, Vancouver 0 for 3, Winnipeg 0 for 4. The hits 50-24 for Vancouver, Demko saves 24 out of 27. Hellebuck, 23 saves on 24 shots. Time for board number 2. All right, so Utah and Chicago as we move on to board number 2. Vejmelka versus Soderblom in this one. Utah presses are kept to the outside. If you're wondering why this board's set up this way, I initially was like, well, I'll do 3-game review and then a 5-game review, and then my brain kicked in and went, why? So, lone shot on net is for Chicago 3 minutes in. There's good forechecking by Utah. The Utah Hockey Club's building some momentum. Nazar then has a net drive chance that saves. Shots are 4-3 Chicago at the half. We get a power play for the Hawks. That's killed off. The Hawks press with 4.5 minutes left. With 3:43 left, the Hawks get their second power play of the first period. That's killed off. Utah with a rush chance after. It is scoreless after the first. Second period. There's a near miss for Krause in close. The Hawks press at 2.5 minutes. We get a power play for Chicago. That's killed off. The Hawks get some pressure after it's done. Utah presses at 6.5 minutes. Donato is a one-timer. That's held. And at 8:21, DeSimone with a point shot that deflects in. Kerfoot and Stenlund with the assists. Initially, this goal was given to, I believe, Bjugstad, but now it's been changed to DeSimone. Nazar's denied on a fast break. Shots are 7-5 Utah at the half, but at 11:02, Chicago ties it. Veleno from Levshinov and Foligno. The Hawks then press with 7 minutes left. Vlasic got shaken up along the boards. Hopefully he's okay. It didn't look great, but sometimes they look worse than what they are, and sometimes they look better than what they are. Then at 14:55 on a rush, Donato buries a rebound to give Chicago a 2-1 lead. Connor Bedard with the assist. But at 16:37, Sergachev with a screenshot that deflects into the net, ties it up for Utah. And then at 17:08, so seconds after that, Kerfoot deflects one in. Sergachev and Marino with the assists, making it 3-2 in favor of Utah. McBain has a fight with Maroon. Utah comes out with that with a power play, so that power play rolls over into the third period. Utah with the 3-2 lead. Hawks do finish the kill. Bedard has a rush chance that's defended. The shots are 2-1 Utah at 4 minutes. The teams trade rushes. Hawks press at 7.5 minutes, and then at 10:57 on a turnover. Yamamoto buries a rebound on a turnover. I said the word turnover twice there. That's how impressive it was. But yeah, Yamamoto with his first as a Utah Hockey Club player. The assist to Kerfoot there. Then at 12:54, Cooley buries one from the left circle. Keller and Gunther with the assists. It is 5-2 in favor of the Utah Hockey Club. Slygard has a one-timer. That's saved with 4 minutes left. The Hawks get a power play. That's killed off. And your final score in this one's 5-2. Utah goes to 33, 29, and 12 with the win. With the loss, Chicago 21, 44, and 9 on the season. Shots on net, 10 apiece in the first, 13-12 Utah in the second, 8-7 Utah in the third. Final shots 31-29 in favor of Utah. Power plays, the Utah Hockey Club 0 for 1, Chicago 0 for 4. The hits, 15 apiece. Vejmelka saves 27 out of 29. Strong start from him. Soderblom, 26 saves on 31 shots. All right, next up, Ottawa and Pittsburgh. So this just finished. Forsberg versus Jarry. Early press by the Penguins. The shots are Sens press at 2.5 minutes. The shots are 3-2 Ottawa, 5 minutes in. Teams trade turnovers. We get a power play for the Penguins. That's killed off. The Sens press at 8.5 minutes. The Penguins then get some pressure at the half. With 7 minutes left, the shots are 10-7 for Ottawa. There's a near miss for Crosby and close. Lots of chances. Both goaltenders are good. It's 0-0 after the first. Second period, there's an early press again by Pittsburgh. McGroarty has a near miss on a rush. Shots are 2-0 Pittsburgh at 3 minutes. The Penguins press at 5.5 minutes. Giroux has a rush chance that deflects wide. Cousins then has a wrister. That's held by Jarry, who had a nice bounce-back game after a couple shaky ones earlier. Penguins press at 8 minutes. The Senators get some pressure at 9.5 minutes. Heinen fires one wide on a rush. The Penguins press with 7 minutes left. Pittsburgh more pressure with 5 minutes left. They had opportunities. They had the momentum. Batherson fires one wide on a rush. Gregg takes a puck to the face. He is okay, though. He does get up. With 6.4 seconds left, the Sens get a power play. So that rolls over into the third period. We have yet to see a goal scored in this game. In the third, the Penguins finish the kill. One shot on net. Crosby's denied on a one-timer. Penguins press at 2.5 minutes. The shots are 5-0 Pittsburgh at 3 minutes. Things get punchy on a hold by Forsberg. Heinen has a shot that's held. It's really all Penguins at this point, and that was the case for a lot of the third period. I don't know if Ottawa ran out of gas, but it sure looked like they did. Grizzlick has a screenshot that's held. The shots are 8-3 for Pittsburgh with 9.5 minutes left. Crosby to Rust, near miss there. The teams trade turnovers. Things get punchy on a hold by Forsberg, so it's 2 minutes of 4-on-4 with 2:36 left. And one of the players who went to the box was Crosby, so Ottawa will take that all day long. There's a post for Pinto on a breakaway. Then with 2.1 seconds left, the Senators go to the box. The Penguins go to the power play. That rolls over into the overtime. We have no goal scored at that point. There's a shorthanded near miss for Sanderson, which made me a little bit nervous as somebody that was rooting for Ottawa to get the extra point today, because I was like, okay, the defenseman's up. I hope he gets back in time. Well, at 1:16, Crosby roofs one from the right circle. Carlson and Merkel with the assists. Pittsburgh wins this one 1-0 in overtime. They go to 30, 34, and 11 with the win, with the overtime loss. Ottawa 39, 28, and 6. They do get the point. The point is important, better than not getting a point. But for Ottawa, they're going to look forward to getting a little bit of rest between now and the next game. Shots on net, 16-10 Ottawa in the first, 11-9 Ottawa in the second, and then 14-4 Pittsburgh in the third, and 2-0 Pittsburgh in the overtime, including the shot that matters. Final shots, 35-31 Pittsburgh. Power plays, Ottawa 0 for 1, Pittsburgh 1 for 2. Both teams had 32 hits in this game. Forsberg saves 34 out of 35. Jarry saves all 31 shots for the shutout, after being pulled in back-to-back games coming into this one. Goaltending is very unpredictable. All right, last game we're going to review now is the Islanders in Carolina against the Hurricanes, another game that featured a lot of goals. Hogberg versus Kochetkov. There's an early power play for Carolina. That's killed off. Cizikas couldn't bury one in close, and then at 4:41, Jankowski gets his 7th in 10 games with the Hurricanes. He buries a net feed, Robinson and Jost with the assists. And then at 4:54, so 13 seconds later, Stankoven scores to make it 2-0. Martinook with the assist. The Islanders would answer, though. At 6:10, Engvall wires one 5-hole via a 2-on-1 rush. Pellick with the assist there. We then get a power play for the Islanders, and they score on it. At 11:27, Palmieri roofs one from the left circle. Dobson and Horvat with the assists. We now have a 2-2 tie. The Canes press with 3.5 minutes left. With 3:07 left, the Canes get a power play. That becomes 4-on-4. And so we're in a 2-2 tie after the second period. And to start the second period, after the first it's 2-2. This one threw me off because there were no goals in it. So I'm like, 2-2, it's got to be going to the third. But going to the second period, and there were 46 seconds left in the Islanders' power play. So the Canes finish the kill. And then at 1:37, Engvall roofs one from the right circle to give the Islanders a lead at 3-2, and that's his second goal of the game. The teams trade rushes. The Canes press at 3.5 minutes. The Islanders get pinned down for a bit, but they're blocking the net pretty well at this point. Shots are 6-1 Islanders, 6.5 minutes in. But then we get a power play for Carolina, and they score on it. It's a tic-tac-toe play finished by Aho, Gostisbehere, and Hall with the assists at 8:35. The Canes go back to the power play. That one's killed off, and then the Islanders clear it out. With 3:22 left, the Islanders get a 4-minute power play, and the Canes score during that. Jarvis goes far side on a rush at 17:29. Aho and Slavin with the assists. It is now 4-3 in favor of Carolina after 2. Third period. Canes finish the kill because it was a 4-minute power play, right? So they had to finish that off. Islanders press after it's done, but the lone shot on net belongs to Carolina 3 minutes in. At 4:04, Lee tips in a net feed to tie the game up. The assist to Palmieri and Horvat. So now we're in a 4-4 tie. Gatcombe has a rush chance that's caught and held. The Canes press at 6.5 minutes, and at 9:19 on a set play off of a face-off win, Orlov scores. Svechnikov and Jost with the assists, so now Carolina has their lead back at 5-4. Canes look for another. There's a post for Aho from in close, and then at 17:14 on a cross-crease pass, Jarvis buries one, Aho with the assist. It's a 6-4 lead in favor of Carolina. So the Islanders would pull the goalie, and with 1:17 left, they get a power play to make it 6-on-4. They are unable to generate any further goals. Final score 6-4, so the 80s magnets on the board, same as the chess magnets on the board for the Ottawa-Pittsburgh game. This one, an 80s game at 6-4. Carolina goes to 45-24 and 4 with the win. The Islanders 32-31 and 10 with the loss. These teams fighting for that last playoff spot in the East. It is an interesting fight, but now Montreal gets the win. Islanders take the loss. That has to help the Montreal Canadiens' chances a lot. Shots on net, 14-9 Carolina in the first, 9-6 Islanders in the second, 13-10 Islanders in the third. The Islanders actually outshoot Carolina 31-30. Power plays, the Islanders 1 for 4, Islanders 1 for 5, Carolina 1 for 4. The hits, 23-8 for the Islanders because Carolina doesn't hit. Hogberg, 24 saves on 30 shots. Kochetkov, 27 saves on 31 shots. So there you go. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Hit like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And now I'll watch the 2 evening games and post that review later on the channel. So thank you guys so much for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.